George, when you listen to Ursula Wusu-Ekofo, did you get the confidence that as a country we're on top of this problem?
Not exactly. Listening to Ursula, it was clear that the regulator had failed in their job. It is clear to us that we are at the mercy of the operators. The government has absolutely no control over what will happen or what is going to happen. It comes back to what the regulators, the operators are going to do. The operators of the subsea cables, their decision, their business decision on how to restore capacity on their lines and run their business. Because I made the point on the floor of Parliament that the NCA is basically mirroring the Chamber of Telecoms. I expect my big brother Ken Ashigbe to make comments and issue statements about what the operators are seeking to do, because he's the Chamber of Telecoms. He is an advocate for the operators. I expect the regulator to be telling me what policy initiatives are being introduced to protect the consumer and the rights of the consumer. None of the four statements from the NCA have done that. They're basically just telling you the regulators have told, we've had a meeting with the regulators, and this is what the regulators have said.
But in terms of protecting the consumer, isn't that why they say that critical services, they're given the instructions for critical services to receive priority in terms of the allocation of bandwidth? Isn't that to protect the consumer?
So if the regulator, no, you see, and that's the point. I think it was Seshi from the CSA. I don't know if it was Seshi or Maximus who made that point. No, I think it was Ken who made that point, that you could actually give critical infrastructure connectivity. But if the clients of that critical infrastructure don't have connectivity, what have you achieved? So if you give a bank priority and give them connectivity on their systems, or a payments aggregator, you give him access, and the consumer who is supposed to use that service doesn't have access to the service because they don't have connectivity, you've achieved nothing. And you see, the point we must be looking at here, why I say it's a failure of the regulator, is that we shouldn't now be having a conversation of local caches or data exchanges in Ghana. This is something other regulators have worked on as proactive regulators. The NCA has slept on this job. And now we are being told that the things that other regulators have by way of policy implemented in their home countries, making sure that service providers like Facebook, like Twitter, like Netflix, like Amazon have local caches, which first and foremost will even make it cheaper for data for customers when you're using your data to stream, because it's streaming locally vis-a-vis the traffic and the bandwidth that's needed. We've sat down and now we are using this crisis to talk about these things as though they are new policy initiatives that we didn't know we should have implemented. Take it from me. In 5 weeks' time, after the operators have solved their problem, the regulator will go back to sleep.